The Galactic Council chamber fell silent as Ambassador Marcus Webb stood before the assembled delegates. 300 species, each more ancient than humanity's entire written history, watched with varying degrees of interest as the human prepared to speak. "The motion is clear," High Arbiter Velkoth announced, his crystalline form refracting the chamber's ambient light. "Humanity requests military support against the Krevtar invasion. The Council finds this unusual. Your species has been part of the galactic community for only 70 years. You possess no notable military advantages. Why should we risk our forces?" Marcus had expected this. Every species in the Council had evolved past warfare millennia ago, settling disputes through economic pressure, diplomatic maneuvering, or technological superiority. The Krevtar were different, a hive species that consumed everything in their path, and they were 3 jumps away from Earth. "Because we will fight anyway," Marcus replied simply. "With or without you." A rippling sound passed through the chamber, the Vexlar equivalent of laughter. "Noble but futile," one delegate chittered. "Our analysis shows humanity has a 0.003% chance of survival against a Krevtar swarm." "Then will be that 0.003%, Marcus said. "This is illogical," Velkoth stated. "You would sacrifice your entire species on principle." "No," Marcus corrected. "We'll sacrifice everything to protect what we love. That's not principle. That's something else." "Translate, Knight, for the Council," Velkoth commanded the translation matrix. Error, no equivalent concept found. The High Arbiter's form flickered confusion. "Your translation software malfunctions, Ambassador." "No, it doesn't," Marcus said quietly. "There is no translation because you don't have anything like it. Let me tell you a story." The chamber grew still. Humans were known for their stories. 800 years ago on Earth, there was a man named William Marshall. He was a knight, a warrior bound by oath to protect others, not for profit or territory, but because it was right. During one battle, his lord was about to be killed. William could have fled, saved himself, but he didn't. He charged alone into an army. Against all probability, he survived and saved his lord's life. "This proves our point," a delegate interrupted. "Irrational self-sacrifice." "I'm not finished," Marcus continued. William Marshall lived to be 72, ancient for his time. He served 5 kings, never broke his oath, and was called the greatest knight who ever lived. When he was dying, other knights came from across the kingdom to pay respects. He didn't sacrifice himself. He lived by a code that made sacrifice meaningful. "We still fail to understand the relevance," Velkoth said. 3 weeks ago, the Krevtar attacked our colony on New Boston, Marcus said, his voice hardening. "Population, 40,000. We had one old frigate in orbit, the Tommy Richardson, captained by Lieutenant Jessica Martinez. She had a crew of 43. Marcus pulled up a holographic display. The Council watched as the single human vessel faced a Krevtar swarm. Lieutenant Martinez could have jumped to safety. Instead, she broadcasted to the planet, "Get everyone to the shelters. We'll buy you time." Marcus's voice cracked slightly. For 6 hours, one frigate held off an entire swarm. Lieutenant Martinez rammed her burning ship into the Krevtar flagship when her weapons failed. She killed herself and took 200,000 Krevtar with her. The chamber was absolutely silent now. The colony had time to evacuate 38,000 people because 44 humans decided their lives were worth less than the children in those shelters. "We don't have a translation for knight, because it's not just a word, it's what we become when everything is on the line." Marcus looked directly at Velkoth. "You're right. We're illogical. We're new. We're weak. But we have something none of you have needed for 10,000 years. We have people who will fly into fire without hesitation because others need time to run. We call them knights, soldiers, marines, firefighters, parents, the names don't matter. What matters is when darkness comes, humans run toward it, not away from it. This is evolutionary disadvantageous, a delegate observed clinically. Maybe, Marcus agreed. But it's who we are. And I'll tell you something else, when the Krevtar came to your worlds, you ran. You negotiated territory. You ceded planets. They're still coming because nothing has ever stopped them. Marcus activated another display. This is Captain James O'Connor. He took a civilian transport, a garbage hauler, filled it with nuclear warheads, and crashed it into a Krevtar world eater. This is Commander David Foster. He held a bunker for 16 hours with 12 Marines against 4,000 Krevtar drones. This is Dr. Emily Reeves. She stayed behind in a plague ward to save 6 patients when everyone else evacuated. Face after face appeared. Stories of sacrifice, of impossible stands, of humans who chose to be more than logic dictated. You want to know why you should help us? Marcus said. Because we're going to stop the Krevtar with or without you. And when we do, and we will, the galaxy will remember who stood with humanity, and who didn't. Because that's another thing about us, we remember our knights. And we remember who left them to fight alone. Velkotha's form pulsed with what might have been emotion. The council will deliberate. Don't take too long, Marcus said, turning to leave. We've got a war to fight. As he walked from the chamber, his communicator chimed. A message from Earth Command, 3rd Fleet launching. Admiral Catherine Brooks commanding. Message, if the council won't come, we go alone. Humanity doesn't kneel. Marcus smiled grimly. The galaxy was about to learn what happened when you cornered a species of knights. Behind him, the council began an emergency session. For the first time in recorded history, they were afraid, not of the Krevtar, but of what humanity might become if they survived. And in the cold mathematics of war, the delegates were beginning to understand, sometimes 0.003% is all you need when that percentage refuses to die. The human word was knight, and the galaxy was about to learn what it meant.